It was Thanksgiving morning in Chicago. I woke up to the same feeling I always had around this time of year, anxiety sitting heavy in my chest. Another year, another family trip. This time, our destination was the Breakers, a fancy old resort in Palm Beach, Florida. As always, my grandfather paid for everything. While doing one last check of my suitcase, I sighed deeply. I glanced at myself in the mirror. I'm Helen Walker. I'm 33 years old and work as a research director at a pharmaceutical company. I make good money, $160,000 a year, and I live alone in my Chicago apartment. I've saved and invested wisely. Money is important, yes, but my dignity means even more. That's something my grandfather taught me. Grandpa built his wealth in the construction business. From the time I was little, he taught me everything he knew about money and investing. He's the only one in the family who truly understands and respects me. The rest of my family is a different story, especially my younger sister, Catherine. She used to be a flight attendant, but now she's a full-time housewife. She lives in a big house with her husband and their 7-year-old daughter, but they wouldn't be able to afford it without Grandpa's help. He pays for their mortgage, their cars, and even their daughter's private school. On social media, though, Catherine makes it look like they have it all: designer bags, fancy dinners, beach vacations. It's all just for show. My parents, George and Margaret, are retired now, living in Florida. They look like they're doing well, but again, that's only because of Grandpa. Their retirement home, their savings, it's all funded by him. They've always treated me coldly but spoiled my sister. When I was in college, I had to earn scholarships and work part-time to pay my way. Catherine got everything handed to her. That unfairness still stings. Be someone who can stand on her own 2 feet, Grandpa always said. I took those words seriously. I worked hard to build a career, invest my money, and live independently. My apartment in the city, the life I've built, I earned it. I don't need anyone else's help. As I picked up my suitcase to leave for the airport, I could already feel the tension of the upcoming trip building. Every year, it was the same: Catherine showing off, my parents ignoring me, and Grandpa silently watching everything fall apart. In the taxi, I thought about where I was going. The Breakers was a grand, 5-star hotel that had been around since 1896. Its architecture looked like something from the Italian Renaissance. Rooms cost over $800 a night. The Thanksgiving dinner alone was $200 per person. The setting was glamorous, but the truth behind our family's image was fragile and fake. My sister's luxury lifestyle, my parents' comfort, it was all built on Grandpa's money. And this year, something told me that the cracks in our perfect family image would finally start to show. When I arrived at Palm Beach International Airport, the weather was beautiful. I was the last to get to the hotel, pulling my navy suitcase behind me. I stepped inside the grand lobby. My elegant navy dress from Theory was a little wrinkled from the flight, but I still felt presentable. The hotel was stunning: high ceilings, marble floors, sparkling chandeliers. Other guests were already relaxing, smiling, enjoying their holiday. As I walked toward the front desk, I noticed my parents talking in a quiet corner. My mom wore a new resort dress. My dad looked relaxed and casual. When they saw me, they turned away quickly, like they hadn't seen me. "Miss Walker, I'm so sorry," said the front desk worker, checking the computer again. "I can't seem to find your reservation. Your family's bookings are here, but..." Just then, I heard the sharp click of high heels. I turned and saw Catherine approaching, looking smug. She had an expensive Hermes bag on her arm and a sparkling Cartier watch. "Oh, Helen, you finally made it," she said, her voice dripping with sarcasm. The front desk clerk was still struggling to find my name in the system. Other guests started glancing over at us. Catherine smiled wider. "How strange, no reservation for Helen," she said loudly, pretending to be surprised. "Actually," she added, stepping closer, "I only booked rooms for our family. One for me, my husband, and Amy, and one for Mom and Dad. You know, just for the real family." There was a moment of silence. The clerk looked stunned. My parents stayed turned away. Everything froze for a second. I took a breath and said, calmly, "I see, then I'll leave." I kept my voice even. I nodded politely to the front desk worker and took out my phone to order a taxi. "Wait," Catherine called out, maybe surprised that I didn't make a scene. But I didn't stop. I walked out, feeling the staff's eyes on me. My parents stood awkwardly, saying nothing. My sister still wore that smug smile, but it had started to fade. Outside, the The sunshine was bright, almost too bright. The palm trees swayed gently in the breeze. The Thanksgiving trip that was supposed to last days had ended for me in minutes. Yet instead of feeling upset, I felt something else, relief. Grandpa's words came back to me again. Stand on your own feet. I finally understood what he meant. While waiting for the taxi, I looked back at the grand hotel building. It was beautiful, yes, but it felt like a symbol of everything false about my family. Through the window, I spotted Amy. She looked uncomfortable in her expensive dress. She was peeking around her mother, maybe looking for me. Every year, I brought her a small gift. This year, I had a pearl hair clip for her. It was still wrapped neatly in my suitcase. The taxi pulled up. I got in and told the driver, Palm Beach International Airport. On my phone, I searched for the next flight back to Chicago. The prices were high, it was Thanksgiving, after all, but I didn't care. It was still cheaper than the emotional cost of pretending everything was okay with my family. As the taxi pulled away, I watched the breakers grow smaller in the mirror. Its shiny walls and fancy towers reminded me of how fake our family had become, and this year, that fake image had finally started to crack. I didn't know what would happen next, but one thing was clear, there was no turning back. Inside the quiet taxi, the cool air helped me relax. I leaned back in the leather seat and stared out the window. Palm trees, beach houses, and glimpses of the ocean passed by, but I barely noticed them. I took out my phone and called Grandpa. The dial tone felt longer than usual. Helen, what's wrong? He answered, calm as always. I just wanted to report something, I said quietly. Then I told him everything. I kept my voice flat and factual. What happened at the front desk, what Catherine said, how I walked out. No drama, no begging for sympathy. I heard him breathing harder on the other end, like he was holding back anger. I see, I'll take care of it, he said firmly. His words carried weight, like something was about to change. After that, my phone lit up with messages, one after another. First from Catherine. Helen, Amy was looking forward to seeing you. Do you know how embarrassing this is? I was going to post Thanksgiving family pictures tonight. Then came the emails from our parents. From my mother, we could have added another room, but Catherine said it was better to keep it just for real family. You're independent now, right? From my father, you make enough money, why not just book your own room? You always make a fuss, why can't you just go along with the family plans for once? More messages kept coming, some trying to guilt me, others angry, some used Amy as a shield, she's crying now because of you, and others accused me of ruining their social media plans. But I didn't reply, I didn't need to. As we neared the airport, a single email came in, from Grandpa. I'm proud of your decision, I understand everything. My eyes filled with tears, but not from sadness, it was something else, something like strength. The calls kept coming, the messages piled up, but none of them could reach me now. I stepped out of the taxi and walked into the airport terminal, my head held high. I wasn't running away, I was finally walking toward my own life. As I walked toward the international terminal, I booked a last-minute flight to Chicago. Each step felt lighter, like I was finally breaking free. This was it, the moment I let go of the family I had always tried to believe in, but who never really treated me like one of them. About half an hour after I got on the plane, an email popped up from Grandfather. He had sent it to the whole family. The following is my final decision. It started, written in his usual formal and serious tone. Today, on Thanksgiving, something happened that deeply hurt the Walker family's honor. The way Helen was treated was cruel and shameful. Because of that, I am stopping all financial support to George, Margaret, and Catherine, effective immediately. Let me remind you, your fancy lives only exist because of my help. Anyone who has forgotten the true meaning of family, and lives only for appearances, no longer deserves that help. As I read those words, my phone started buzzing. It was my sister calling, again and again. Her messages came quickly after that, full of panic. Helen, please, pick up, talk to Grandpa. Her voice on the voicemail sounded frantic. I knew she was terrified. She had built her whole life around Grandfather's $30,000 a month support. Without it, she didn't have a backup plan. Soon, emails from our parents began arriving too. Their usual pride was gone. Now, they were begging. Helen, please, one message said, this affects our retirement. We already paid $150,000 for a luxury retirement home. If the money's lost, we won't have insurance either. They were scared. Their perfect retirement was slipping away. Please, talk to him, he always listens to you, my mother added. For once, she even apologized. I'm sorry for what I said earlier, but this is serious, we're in crisis. I turned off my phone. Outside my plane window, the clouds stretched out like a soft white sea. Every Thanksgiving, my sister posted pictures of their perfect family dinner, always at some expensive place. But this year, there would be no posts, and for Catherine, that might hurt more than losing the money. The flight was smooth. The person next to me was scrolling through Thanksgiving recipes. I thought about Amy. At this time in past years, I'd be giving her a gift in the hotel lounge. After landing in Chicago and connecting to Wi-Fi, my phone exploded with over 100 new messages. Most were from Catherine. Her words were getting more desperate. What do I do now? I can't pay the bills. Amy's school, what about her fees? My parents' messages were even more serious. The retirement home won't refund our payment. Our insurance is gone next month. This is ruining our life. Do something. But then came grandfather's second email, sent to everyone. This decision is final. You brought this upon yourselves. Any complaints will result in a complete cut-off. I sat there, calm, just reading everything. Their proud attitudes had disappeared. Now, all I saw was fear. For the first time, I could see them clearly. I put down my phone and made a cup of tea. Normally, I'd be eating a $200 per person Thanksgiving dinner with them. I laughed a little, remembering how they used to show it off online, even though they could barely pay their credit cards. A call came in, from Catherine's husband. His voice was full of panic and blame. He said she'd been hiding debts, that her spending was out of control. I could tell cracks were forming in their marriage too. Another message came from our parents. We can't get the $150,000 back. We'll have to pay all medical costs ourselves now. It's your fault. Then they started defending Catherine again and blaming me. They hadn't changed at all. I added lemon to my tea and took a sip. Tomorrow, life would go on. I'd return to work, back to analyzing new research data for the pharmaceutical company. I made $160,000 a year. I had investments. I had no debt. Everything I had earned myself. Outside, the lights of Chicago's buildings sparkled like stars. I remembered my own credit card statement, always paid in full. I lived with comfort, but never beyond my means. Grandfather's words echoed in my mind, vanity is for others, savings are for yourself. I had built my own life, step by step, just as he taught me. I finally knew I had made the right choice. My phone kept ringing, but those voices, they didn't reach me anymore.